As part of the Westerly Owners Association 50th anniversary celebrations, a Celtic Gathering was held from Friday the 8th to Sunday the 10th of July 2016 and was attended by nearly 30 boats from Scotland, Ireland and Wales. Peel Harbour was chosen to host the gathering as it was a central location easily reached from all three countries. The Harbour Master's office is on the port side as you enter the harbour, and the harbour itself can be accessed around 2 hours either side of high water, and there is a flap gate to retain the water in the harbour. The footbridge over the entrance to the harbour has to be swung to allow boats to enter and exit, and this can be every half hour around high water time. One of the events which proved popular with everyone was an organised walk around some of the maritime history sites of Peel, and it was hosted by the curator of the Lease Museum, Roy Baker. Unfortunately, most of the commentary on this videotape of Roy was inaudible due to the wind noise and the passing traffic, but Roy was an extremely witty presenter and really knew his stuff about the history of boat building in Peel.
On this area was Watson's yard. So we had one rivals off. Eventually Nathan Watson bought them out. But some of the boats that they built here, the Cushing was quite a famous boat to be built here. You see that? You see it getting launched on its side. We're just standing in the place where it got done.
Sadly, much of the boat building and marine service industries that were based in Peel have now long disappeared. And it was amazing really to see how many properties had changed hands since that time and are now used for completely different purposes. This is all that is left now of Peel Station, which has been preserved mainly for the tourists. The tour ended outside of the Lease Museum after an hour of being informed and entertained by Roy. We made a donation to the museum and also gave them one of our souvenir 50th anniversary mugs for their collection, which was gratefully received. The main event of the WOA gathering was held at the Peel Sailing and Cruising Club on the Saturday evening, the 9th of July, where we had an evening meal followed by a ceilidh. There were probably quite a few sore heads on the Sunday morning afterwards, but a good time was had by all. It was an extremely windy weekend when we were in Peel, and the visitors' moorings outside of the harbour were certainly not the place to be. Standing on the Fenella Bridge gives an excellent view of both the entrance to the harbour from seaward and of the marina itself. On the Friday evening, all of the WOA skippers and crews met at the Peveril pub, which is next to the harbour office, for drinks and snacks. They kindly let us take over the marquee outside, and it was an ideal venue to make new friends and acquaintances. On the Sunday evening, Julie and I had an excellent Chinese meal at the Jade Harbour restaurant. In fact, we both agreed the food was absolutely superb. Here we see Yacht Sula, a Westerly Ocean Ranger owned by the event organisers, John and Kyla Brand. If you are interested in the history and culture of the Isle of Man, there is no finer place to go than the House of Manannan in Peel. We visited on the Monday afternoon and spent an excellent couple of hours walking around. Outside is an excellent collection of statues showing Viking men pulling on a rope. If you've ever wondered what's on the other side of that rope, well, it's this. A Viking longship called Odin's Raven. And if anyone really wants to enter into the spirit of things, there are plenty of costumes lying around to let you dress up and do so. By Monday the 11th of July, the weather had started to clear up, so everybody agreed that Tuesday was the day to leave. So all the rally banners and bunting were removed and the boats were made ready for sailing next day. We started leaving the harbour from around about 5 AM. We left about 6:30. For the first 2 hours we had the best sailing of the entire holiday, where we had the wind on the beam and Magic Hawk was making speeds of 6.5 and sometimes up to 7 knots. We had chosen to go back through Calf Sound, and our timing was impeccable as we arrived there at exactly slack water and had an easy passage through. Once through Calf Sound, the wind had eased, and we thought initially it was just because we were in the wind shadow of the Calf of Man, but unfortunately the wind strength had dropped considerably and we had to have the motor running along with the sails to push us along. Well, we're on the way back from the Isle of Man now. Probably about 2/3 of the way across. It's been a little bit light on the wind today, up to motor sometimes, although we did have a good sail coming up the west coast of the Isle of Man this morning. We had 2 hours of really good wind, so that was good until we got to Calf Sound. We can see Holyhead mountain ahead now. And the Isle of Man slipping away into the distance, so that'll be it now till next year. During the crossings both to and from the Isle of Man, we met quite a bit of commercial traffic going either into or out of Liverpool. On the journey home, 3 ships crossed our path. However, when we crossed their wake, we discovered they were actually going outbound in the inbound lane of the traffic separation zone.